the forthcoming 2023 presidential election in Nigeria, we have the distinction of being the first presidential contest in 20 years that will not have Muhammadu Buhari on the ballot. This has opened the floodgates to several presidential hopefuls who are eager to test their popularity in what is certain to be most open contest in recent memory. So far, the likes of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Anyim Pius Anyim, Umahi, Orji Uzor Kalu, Ohuabunwa, Rochas, Okorocha, and Kingsley Moghalu are some of the early entrants into the race. But there are many more lurking in the background who are yet to declare their interest in the presidency. To discuss the 2023 presidential contest and the horse trading setting to ensue as politicians try to gain the upper hand, we're now being joined by Ebunola Martins, the chieftain of the All Progressives Congress and member of the Buhari Campaign Council during the 2019 presidential election. He will also be telling us why he's campaigning for the presidency to be micro-zoned to the southeast. Welcome to the show, Mr. Martins, and good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Well, quickly, what is behind your campaign that the presidency of Nigeria in 2023 should be micro-zoned to the southeast? I know that's an old argument, but there are people who are also saying that whoever is going to emerge will not be president of the southeast. Whoever comes from the southeast is expected to be president of Nigeria. And then secondly, we have many aspirants out there. Who are your favorites? Or who is your favorite? And what do you think so far?
Well, thank you very much. I think the reason for my calling for Nigerians to choose their president from the southeast area is very simple. As you are aware, all region in this country, they all have 6 states in their various regions, some even 7. It is only the southeast that only have 5 states. All regions in this country have 6 governors or 7 governors. It's only southeast that has 5 governors. The list members of the House of Reps and Senate comes from southeast. And to add salt to injury, since 1999, we have never seen a president or vice president from the southeast. We have seen from the north, we have seen from southwest, we have seen from south-south. And God bless Sir Edwin Clark for even coming out to say the south-south have had their own, and it is the time for the southeast. But let me just draw this. I'm sure if you ask any of our major politicians now, what is the coat of arms of Nigeria? What is the motto in the coat of arms? They don't know it. The coat of arms says unity, faith, peace, and progress. Now, if you look at these 2 things, we don't have it right now. No unity, even a lot of people don't have faith in the country, no peace, no progress. So if we have to have this, there must be justice and fair play. So that justice and fair play is on what I am standing up to today. So for us to have peace, for us to have unity, for us to have progress, for us to even have faith in the country, there must be unity. There must be justice and fair play, I mean. So if you don't have justice, everything will elude you. So you cannot have employment, you cannot have anything. So for us to have unity, that justice and fair play has to come to life. I don't even think that it should be an argument for anybody to even zone, any of the political party to zone the presidency to southeast. That shouldn't be an issue. Yes, of course, there are a lot of issues, you know, people attacking people, just like what happened in Imo between Uche, Wasu, and Opuzodima. You know, a lot of attacks because they want to get at somebody, and, you know, a lot of attacks is happening. All these things because of this same 2023 presidential election. You can imagine a young man like Uche, who everybody knows that is an honorable and honest guy, who everybody knows that is a very peace-loving person. You know, he's just been harassed unnecessarily, just simply because of what I'm talking about. Being harassed and, you know, being intimidated. Somebody, a young man like that, you know, tore all his clothes, exposed him, took his pictures, put on social media, and even up to today, the police is, I mean, they are still saying nothing. They've not come out with the report, and I believe that all the policemen involved in this thing should be sanctioned, and it should be made public, even including that of the army who are involved in these things. I think they should be called to book, and particularly the CSO to the governor of Imo State. This thing should not go like that. If all the politicians thinks that this one does not concern them, I can assure them, like the Yoruba adage says, that Mako Mako Lo Yenkon, this thing will still come to them. Even the governor that is seated here today, tomorrow is not going to be there. And the same measure he used in measuring for others, I'm sure he should also be waiting for that. So I think that this justice is an all-round thing. We should look for justice for Uche Wasu. That's very, very important. And I'd call upon the Inspector General of Police to sincerely do that. I'm happy Uche himself has faith in the Inspector General of Police. And I believe that the Inspector General of Police did justify that faith this young man has in him. So this is very, very important. And also the young men that were said to have implicated him, who now later came and said, no, we are coerced into mentioning his name. We didn't send us anything. I think they should do this investigation thoroughly, and they should make it public to Nigerians.
Right. You've made these perfectly logical points about fairness for the sake of our national unity. But you're aware that contenders from the Southwest are throwing their hat into the ring regarding the presidential race. What do you say to that? The fact that Southwest politicians are not sitting back and saying it's the turn of our Igbo brothers and sisters?
Well, I think this is very easy to even explain to every one of us. Like I've mentioned before, we have great people from Southwest. They are very good people. They are very, very educated, very, very sound. I mean, they are very good people. But the situation right now is, what does we need as a country, as a Nigeria? What do we need? What we sincerely need right now is not the presidency from the Southwest. If we all love this country, we should seek for the truth. We should seek for justice and fair play. And if we are seeking for justice and fair play, then I think that, just like Sidwin Clark, may God bless him, and may he live long. Just like he has mentioned before, that look, the South have had their own. Let it go to Southeast. This is what I expected from the leadership in Southwest. That look, we have had our own. A Yoruba man has been president, a Yoruba man has been vice president. Now he's coming back to the South. Let us allow the Southeast to also produce. By the way, why are we even talking of zoning in the first place? If the zoning has to be between the North and the Southwest, then there is no zoning. We shouldn't even mention about zoning. We are mentioning about zoning because we want every part of the country to have sense of belonging. And please do not forget, this is very important information. Please do not forget that when APC was meant to be formed, majorly the North, the Southwest, and the Southeast. And I believe the first governor at that time happens to be Rochas Okorocha. You understand what I'm saying? So the North has had wonderful, they benefited from the party. The Southwest had benefited from the party. It's only the Southeast that has not benefited either as president or as vice president. So I think it makes a lot of sense if the leadership from Southwest, where I'm from, will, for God's sake, encourage their brothers from the Southeast for this, so that we can have peace. Today we have peace. We have peace in South because Obasanjo took a decision that God will continue to bless him on that by bringing Jonathan to be the vice president of Yaradua. And that was what led to him becoming the president eventually. So, and I think President Muhammadu Buhari, I'm very, very sure he will do the same. He will encourage the Southeast to be able to be part of this, the coming government.
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. Your candidate, that's Rochas Okorocha, has finally declared. Because the last time you were here, you subliminally talked about Rochas. So I put it to you that your candidate, Rochas Okorocha, has declared. What does Rochas have to give to this country? Rochas Okorocha, your candidate.
Well, Rochas is my candidate, so all the Igbo nations are also my candidates. So I will tell you that. But for Rochas, I can tell you that it would be a good idea if we have somebody like him coming in and lead this country. What I'm looking at, number one, is that I just want a situation that whichever candidate APC will bring out will be a candidate that will be able to get vote from the north and also get vote from the southwest and also get vote from south-south. I do not want my party to bring a candidate that the north or the southwest will ignore. So this we should look at critically. So now we also have other candidates who are very good, but I think that, like you've mentioned, Rochas is a good candidate. He has all what it takes. And among all the candidates, he has been Rochas before even he got involved in politics. So I'm sure you are aware yourself. I'm sure you are convinced yourself, Rufai, that he is a candidate that can give the best.
No, I just asked you what is he going to do? Because, you know, I can feel your body language is Rochas. Since the last time you came here, I just preempted and it has come to me. What specifically is he going to do in terms of policies, in terms of, you know, changing Nigeria and all of that? Because a lot of people say he has baggage from his days in Imo. Some people will even talk about building a statue when people were suffering. Some people talk about the fact that Imo State has one of the highest unemployment rates. So some people will say it's not a good sell. And I've been able to punctuate that Rochas your kind. So what is he going to do differently?
Well, let's just get this thing straight. There is difference between political propaganda and the truth. If we are talking about the truth, all what you have mentioned now, they are all false.
Did you not build statues?
Even right now, if I'm just speaking as an individual, I'm speaking right now as Prince Ebunola Martins. I'm not speaking on behalf of Rochas Okorocha now. Tomorrow, I may speak on his behalf. But as today, I'm speaking as a Nigerian who feel concerned, who want the best for the country. And I am aware that all the propaganda that you have seen on the media, social media, these are all political propaganda. And that is why I just mentioned to you earlier. That's why you can see the fight against even Uche and Wasu for nothing. Just to be able to fight this man, they went through Uche and Wasu just to destroy the young man. This is what I'm saying. It's just a political fight. And for what he has done before, believe you me, I'm yet to see a governor. I'm yet to see a governor. I repeat it the third time. I'm yet to see a governor in this country who has done even 50% of what Rochas has done for the Imolites. Okay. I'm yet to say it. Okay. One of the best cargo airports today built by any state government is from Imo State. Imo for the first time during his tenure became a tourist state because Imolite no longer go to River State to do their parties and organize. So he put some things together. He worked on the road. He did well in the educational sector. He did a lot. But the people who are fighting him, they are fighting him simply because of the election come 2023. But that's not even the issue right now. The issue right now is we want a candidate from the southeast. And we want a candidate that can appeal to the people of the north, to the people of southwest, to the people of south-south. So I don't want a situation whereby tomorrow APC will bring a candidate, just like we did in 1999 when the Yorubas brought in Falaye. Falaye got the vote in southwest, but Obasanjo cleared the other states, including the east. So this is the reason why I'm appealing to our party to make sure that the candidate they are going to bring out should be a candidate that can appeal to other regions. This is very, very important.
Okay, Chief Martins, you made your point about your preference.
Yes.
You are entitled to that, I guess, okay? But very quickly, I mean, you are a Nigerian. And what will you expect to be the major priorities that the next Nigerian president should focus on? What are those key issues that you think that, you know, the next Nigerian president would need to address?
Number one is the unity of the country. Is the unity of the country. That's number one. Because without unity, there is nothing we can do in this country. So number one is the unity. Then the moment we are able to get the unity right, then everything will follow. We can talk of electricity. Then if we have electricity, the employment can come into play and other things. So, but number one is the unity.
And that's all? How do you achieve that objective
Yes,
of ensuring unity? I thought, you have more.
Yes, number one is the unity. Then number one is for, then the other one is for us to be able to have a president that can create something out of nothing, that will not rely solely on our federal allocation and all that. Somebody that can invest heavily on infrastructure and youth empowerment. So I'm sure you know what is happening about the unemployment today. It's simply because there's no unity and all that. That's why there's fight here, fight there. Investors are running away and all that. So when we have unity, I believe every other thing will fall in place. But one thing I'm sure of, it will speak for himself, just like every other candidate will speak for themselves. We have great people from the East, and I'm sure Rochas Okorocha is capable for speaking for himself. And when it is time for me to speak for him, if he asks me to do so, I will do so, and I will also be here to speak for him.
Well, I don't know. Not much to take away from what you have said, but to know next.
Right. I just wanted to ask you for an objective assessment, if it's possible, of the candidates from the Southeast so far, in no particular order. I'm trying to reel them off in the order in which they announced, but I'm not sure if I can remember the order. Mazi Sam Ohuabunwa, you have the renowned pharmacist and business person, you have former CBN Deputy Governor Kingsley Moghalu, obviously Rochas Okorocha, the senator. You also have in the race former SGF and former Senate President Anyim Pius Anyim. And you also have the governor of Ebonyi, Dave Umahi. Can you just rate them according to their strengths and weaknesses?
Okay, well, if I have to rate them, number one, I will rate them based on what have they done before. Have they been able to reach out to the less privileged people? Do they even have investment in all parts of the country? Do they really believe in this country? So if I have to rate them, I will rate them based on their own antecedents, based on what they have done in the past, not what they are telling me they are going to do tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to rate them on. And that is the reason why you see anytime I speak and I give instances about candidates, that's why you see me mentioning Rochas Okorocha almost all the time, because I have seen what he has done. Forget propaganda, forget people fighting him because of this presidential issue. But the fact of the matter is that I have seen what he has done, both in the north, both in the southwest. But even in the east, where it's coming from, I've seen what he has done. Now the question is, what have all these other people done that can prove that when they get there, they will do better? This is what I think Nigerians should look at.
And of course, as a Senate Chief Whip, Senator Orji Uzor Kalu, I forgot to mention him. Rufai.
Okay, so I'd like to ask you, in the spirit of what people have done, they are saying, what has Rochas done, even before politics, that you see warrant him to be president of Nigeria? And how will he fix the unemployment problem in Nigeria that is over 33%, and at a point in his state, the unemployment rate was over 47%, one of the highest unemployment rates in the country. But what has he done before now, or even before politics, that you think will warrant him to get a chance to be president of Nigeria? That could be including his business, the things he's done for a living in the past.
Well, what you're asking me to do now is to speak like a spokesperson. But when you eventually ask me to do so, maybe I can speak better on what you have mentioned.
But
all the same, you ask me what he has done.
Mr. Ebun, but you're surrogating on his behalf.
No, I speak.
No, hang on a minute. Let's get this right.
Yes, of course. Just like I've spoken on behalf of the Igbo nation.
You are surrogating on Rochas' behalf, so I'll direct this to you. If you didn't surrogate for Rochas, I wouldn't be asking you this. So just answer. What has he done before business and everything that warrants him to be president of the country?
Rufai, you and I know one thing that is for sure. Today, I'm helping about 5 children. I'm sending them to school. But I can tell you those 5 children that I'm sending to school, financially it's already killing me as I'm speaking to you now. Can you imagine someone sending over almost 25,000 students to school and feeding them, clothing them every day? Do you know what that means? Do you know what it means? Me, only 5 people, I'm sweating already. Now, not to talk of somebody who took education very seriously. And for a nation to be developed, you need to also develop your educational sector. You need to educate your people. So if you see a candidate who has made up his mind to make sure that he educates the less privileged people, the poor, then you should know that such candidate is not the candidate you should push away. That is number one. Number two, I'm sure you are also aware that he's one of the very few people who has invested, employed people across board, be it in the east, be it south-south, be it in the north, be it in the southwest. This is what he has done. But not just him. I know that a lot of people from southeast are also doing the same. Southeasterners are the very few people that I know that even if they go to Sokoto, they will build a house, marry there, do things there. So I know. So it's just in their DNA. So I'm just saying that a man like that, with what he has done, and I think that it can never be a bad candidate for any political party.
Okay. All right. Mr. Ebunola Martins, as you were speaking, I was asking you some questions on the things that Rochas has done. You said he's got a big school. He gave education to over 25,000 people. And I'm wondering, wow, so he must have made a lot of money before coming into politics, you know? So what did he do prior to giving 25,000 children the opportunity in the north? And what did he also do in his state as an antecedent, you know? Can he campaign on his record in the states for the presidency? Sir, but I'm speaking to you, sir.
Okay, yes. You are asking, if I can get your question again, sorry, I'm just...
you were saying the things...
Can I get it again, please?
You were saying the things Rochas Okorocha has done. You said prior to now he had a school where he did take care of 25,000 people. I said that means he must have done well for himself in his business, you know. So can you create an antecedent for that for us? And also, would you say he can run on his record in Imo State, you know, to be the president of the country?
Well, if eventually I start speaking for him as a candidate, I believe I'll be able to answer a lot of your questions. But all the same, I can tell you that you are also aware that this young man has run for the office of president of this country for over 3-4 times, even before he became a governor. So that means that before he even got involved in politics, he has been, you know, he's one of the key players in real estate in this country. You know that from the beginning. I'm sure, Rufai, you are aware of that yourself because you're a journalist and you're one of the smartest journalists I know. He's a guy who has been involved in real estate, who has made a lot doing that. He's an average Igbo man, you know. They are very smart in business. Commerce-wise, they are one of the best in the country. So he's done a lot for himself. And I'm sure he will speak well for himself about that when the time comes for him to talk to the press, to the world. But just wait. When I decide to start campaigning for any candidate, probably him himself, then you will see, when I come on your show, you can then be free to ask me any question. Even if you want to ask me about his account or anything, you can ask me then I will respond to you. Right now, my take is just for us, for Nigerians to zone the presidency to Southeast.
Okay. That
this is all my agenda right now, and it's also included in that agenda.
Okay, that point has been well made. But Rochas Okorocha is not the only Southeasterner who has indicated interest in the 2023 presidential race. In the event that Rochas Okorocha doesn't get nominated as a candidate on the platform of whatever party he chooses eventually, who will be your second option, third option? And the whole point is, look, there are others that are out there. There is Kingsley Moghalu from the east. There is Dave Umahi. There is Senator Anyim Pius Anyim. There is Senator Orji Uzor Kalu. A whole long list. Mazi Ohuabunwa, who was on this program. And all of these persons, can talk about past experience. They can talk about how they distinguish themselves in their own ways. So if it is not Rochas Okorocha, who else will it be? And have you ever given a thought to the idea that the presidential candidate can also come from the Southwest, where you come from? So if the battle is in the Southwest, who will be your candidate?
Well, let me the first phase of your question, let me answer it. Well, I can speak, I can give Rochas Okorocha as an instance when I'm talking. Why? Because I was able to sit with him. He invited me for a discussion. And I was able to sit with him to ask him why he wants to run. And with what he mentioned to me as a candidate, as a person, I feel that if we can have such ideas in our governance, if you can have someone like that with that kind of intellectual capacity and capability to lead this country, Nigeria will be better off, especially in the area of commerce. So these are one of the reasons why you can see at times I give instance about him, because he has spoken to me. The people you are mentioning right now, I don't know the ideals. I don't know what they stand for. They have not spoken to me.
I'm not asking you.
I cannot even judge them right now.
Martin, sorry to cut you.
Yes.
I'm not asking you a question as a consultant to Rochas Okorocha. I asked you a question as a Nigerian, as somebody who is interested in public affairs. I'm not talking about your consultancy with Rochas Okorocha. I'm just saying, as a Nigerian, you've been reading the papers. Can you give us an idea as regards these persons? And if this one does not make it, who will make it? I was asking you a basic question. I'm not interested in your personal meetings.
Okay, please, let me just clear something, because you used the word consultants. Please, let's clear. A consultant is a man that is paid for his job. So I'm not paid to do anything. So nobody paid me to do anything. All what I'm saying, I'm just saying it because that's what I believe that we should do. So if I'm able to see other aspirants, people that I've never met, I don't know the ideals. How do I judge them? How do I speak about them? I don't know them. I don't have an idea about what they stand for. That's what I've just mentioned to you. But you also mentioned that of Southwest, that if it eventually comes to Southwest, what will I go that way? Look, the fact of the matter is we shouldn't just mix this thing. Like, if on an ideal level, a candidate can come from the north, from anywhere. But right now, what we need is not a candidate either from the north, from the south, or the southwest. We need a candidate from southeast just for us to give them that sense of belonging. This is what I'm saying.
Right.
If we can able to get a candidate from southeast, then
earlier on,
then I believe we should be somewhere.
Right. You referred to the imbroglio that happened with Mr. Uche and Wasu, making really strong accusations against the governor of his state, Hope Uzodinma. And this would show that there's disunity among some factions in the Southeast. How will that impact the quest for a president from the Southeast, if at all? Does the Southeast really have to be a monolith? Is any zone in Nigeria a monolith? What does that sense of unity or disunity, how will that impact this quest?
No, I don't think there's any disunity within any region, because in 1999 there was disunity between Falaye's camp and Obasanjo's camp. That doesn't mean that there's disunity in Yoruba land. So in politics it happens like that. So that doesn't mean that the Igbos are disunited. No, it's just about fight for interest. That is just what is happening in the Southeast. For the fact that a governor who is a sitting governor can just throw away even developing his state, throw that away, not caring about that, and only agenda is fighting is somebody who he took over from. Even his family fighting everybody. I mean, this is just very, very, very unfair. Okay, sorry, you also asked that. I think I should bring this into the limelight. Have you noticed the properties that the state government has mentioned that they took? One of them is a university that accommodates children that are not paying free education for them in the university. The government took that. Those students today have nowhere to go, except Rochas himself can look for money to put them in a private or government university. But this is university that is meant for the poor. If the son or the daughter of the governor is in that school and is taking free education in that university, the governor will not close it down. The governor will not even mention that the land belongs to A or Z. The governor will be praising himself. But today, those children are nowhere, and nobody cares about them. I've not even heard one person who asks a question that, oh, those students that were in that school, you know, having free education in that school, where are they today? Nobody cares because those children are not their children. That's why everybody kept quiet. So I think we should just try and do the right thing in this country, and enough of all this attack and propaganda.
Okay, so a lot of people want to know, would you also be willing, you know, to talk about income tax returns of presidential candidates? Because you said one candidate supports about 25,000 children in school, which is a lot of money to do that, you know, but a lot of Nigerians complain that we don't see income tax returns. So would you want to talk about that? Would your candidate show that at some point, you know, for people in this country? Because they need to know a lot about their presidential candidate. And you can speak on that because you're speaking for Rochas or Okorocha, obviously. You have, I mean, half of this conversation has been about Rochas. So go ahead. Income tax return. Will you like to show his income tax return?
Yeah, well, number one, because you asked me questions about him, and I meant to speak about him. I speak for him, and I'm also speaking for other Igbos who deserve to have, to have the faith that they can leave this country. Now, you talk about tax return. I believe that as soon as I'm able to come out and tell you that this is the role I'm playing for any presidential aspirant, at that point, I'll be able to answer those personal questions that has to do with them. Right now, I am not speaking as a spokesperson. Maybe tomorrow, I may speak as a spokesperson. But today, I'm not as a spokesperson here. I'm just speaking as a Nigerian. So if it is time for me to speak as a spokesman for any candidate, at that point, you can ask me all those questions. I will answer it. But one thing that I can answer here is that I'm sure you are aware of Rochas Foundation.
Oh, but
it's a foundation, it's an NGO.
Hang on a minute. You keep saying, I'm not speaking for him.
Yes.
But you go ahead and you speak for him. Now, yes. I mean, wait, I just asked you a question about tax returns. No, hang on a minute. Please, I'm the anchor here. I just asked you a question about tax returns, you know, and now you're talking about Rochas Foundation. You didn't answer my question, sir. Let's stick to tax returns. So don't speak about anything. I'm just asking about tax returns of your candidate. Please. Once you've answered the question, we can move on to another question. I'm not talking about the foundation. Nobody talks about charity here.
Yeah. No, Rufai, please, let's get this thing very, very clear. If I'm not working for you directly, can I have access to your account or your tax return? I can't. So that's what I'm saying. So if I start working for him, then I can ask him and get those information and then be able to give it to you. But the information I'm giving you now about Rochas Foundation School is what everybody is aware of. Is what you yourself you know. There's nothing I'm going to mention about Rochas Foundation School that you don't know. This is what we read every day. Tax return, I don't read it every day. So if I have to talk about that, I have to have personal relationship with the person talking about it, asking him questions before I can talk about that.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your time, and thank you for sharing with us today on the interview. Thank you.
Thank you, Martins. We wish you and your candidate the best of luck.